We requested from FEMA to increase that rate so we could attract more. And I'd already given Harry Hayes and others permission to even pay more to work to get our trucks moving quicker. And then FEMA said, you can pay more. So that amount now is 1169 per cubic yard, which helps. And that has brought on more contractors that were kind of standing on the line, on the shoulder. But because you also have Florida, and this is a free market, you have many contractors who are saying 1169 is not enough. And I will tell you, when we submitted our initial reimbursement to FEMA, we were using 769 because we're now operating at 1169 per cubic yard. The revised cost to debris removal, which we refer to as Category A, which is the 90-10 match, that revised amount goes from $225.2 million to now $259.5 million in terms of what we anticipate the cost will be, and which means that our 10% share is about 25.9. But the point is that as I talked with another large contractor yesterday, trying to bring them on board, and they flew in, what they said to me is, Mayor, 1169 is not going to bring us on board. You're going to have to be in the upper teens in order to bring us. Otherwise, we cannot, and we're not going to do it. And so what I will say to you, there's a lot of debris on board. We are working very hard to bring contractors from anywhere in the United States that will operate under the reimbursable rate of FEMA of 1159. Because I'm very sensitive, as we all are, to costs, and I know people want us to stay within our reimbursable costs. And whereas before I might have been more aggressive, I am not going to be aggressive in going beyond FEMA approved rate of the 90-10 match. And so I'm gonna do my best to hold down the cost, which means, as FEMA initially estimated, they thought that debris would take 6 months to get off our streets. That is unacceptable. And I told my team, you have to cut that in half, and even we'll work to even do better than that. But it is going to take some time, because we will stay within what we know FEMA will reimburse, which will keep us to that 10%. And I'm not going to assume an added amount more beyond that when we don't know where those dollars are going to come from. So I want everybody to understand that. We're going to stay within FEMA's, what I know they will reimburse us. I'm not going to add any more to the cost, because when I add to the cost, somebody has to pay it, and that means us, okay? And anytime you go up, that means our cost share goes up as well. So I know, based on our revised number, we're going to have to come up with 25.9. The good news with respect to the other categories is that where it was going to be a 75-25 share, the president last week modified that split, and on other categories it's now 90-10, which is good. All categories except on category B, dealing with emergency protective services, that's at 100%, which is a plus. So where we thought it was going to be a 75-25 match on the other categories is now 90-10 across the board with the exception of emergency protective services, which is 100. Now that's good news, and so therefore, and I said this was a things were kind of fluid, and as we go through the numbers, I will say to you, based on the administration's decision to stay within the cost constraints on debris removal with the 90-10 match, which is better, my request on a tax rate increase is pretty much cut almost in half, because what we are seeking now is for the 25, the match on debris removal, and the restoration of the 20 mil on the Economic Stabilization Fund, because there will be another storm or some emergency of some kind. So instead of trying to raise rates that would generate 118 mil, you're looking almost like doing something that would generate about 50 million, which is significantly less. But I also want people to understand what that means is that we will stay within FEMA's reimbursement, okay? And we will utilize contractors that are willing to accept our rate approved by FEMA, the 1169, and it's going to slow up things a little bit. But we're trying to balance competing interests, because we know everybody is hurting, but there's a lot of debris everywhere. So I know people want it up right now. I understand that. Nobody wants to look outside their door and see this debris, and they want it up. And it's not a matter of, they want it up now. I got that, understand that. And I will tell you right now, we probably have more than 300 units, trucks that are out there operating. And you all know the type, it takes time. And we're working 7 days a week. Every day we're working 7 days a week. I probably will make a request to ask for permission to leave the landfills open 24 hours, because that is posing a constraint, and the landfills need to be open 24 hours. And then we are looking for intermediate locations, okay? But we're not going to use parks, okay? But I am looking for intermediate locations so that the trucks can go in and unload and then get back into the neighborhoods to speed up the deal. And then if the landfill is open 24 hours, it's much easier for them to go to the intermediate locations and go to the landfill, because you can't really have them in the neighborhoods all the time.
Like a staging location?
Yes. And so we're looking at, and let me put out, if you know of potential intermediate locations that would be suitable, if you know of intermediate locations that would be suitable, please let us know, because that would help to quicken the pace. And because then you do have to sort these things out, because there are certain FEMA rules. You just can't go and pick up everything and put it into, things have to be sorted out, okay? But what I'm asking for, if you know of locations anywhere that could be like intermediate sites, staging areas, so that the trucks don't always have to go all the way to the landfill, but they can shorten their distance, and then we'll ask for permission to keep the landfills open. I think that will help to expedite our pace. But again, the goal is to, for at maximum 3 months, but hopefully even less than that, in getting this stuff off the streets. And then I want people to know it's going to be pretty much 3 passes. The trucks will come through one time, okay? But that one time it's not going to do it. So it's pretty much it's going to be one time, second time, and then a third time before it's all up. So that's the goal. I do want to go back to the other thing. If, for example, if the state is willing to join with us and tap into their rainy day fund, there won't be a need for any tax rate increase at all. If they're willing to provide us with the $50 to $60 million, then there will be no reason to impose any burden on people that are already burdened enough. And so to the extent you have influence, and if we want to be total partners, and the state not just be a pass-through of FEMA dollars, okay? Because right now the state is simply passing through FEMA dollars. They're not adding in any of their dollars. The state also has emergency dollars beyond the rainy day fund, okay? So if, for example, if the state is willing to partner with us and help shoulder some of the burden, especially and I'm not talking about adding, trying to take care of the cities. I'm talking about as it relates to storm removal, debris removal, and things of that nature. Then there won't be a need for any tax rate increase. Okay? Because we've expended our economic stabilization fund. That money is gone. Okay, that's gone. And we're seeking reimbursements from FEMA instead of waiting a year, 2 years. We just sent out another letter on Monday asking for a reimbursement of much of our overtime for first responders. Okay? So that's my desire. That's what I would put forth to you. And if you have any influence, certainly if the state would access this emergency funds or even this rainy day fund to assist, then we could eliminate any need for a tax rate at all, and we can move forward.